Hello, hello. This is Gerald Celente. It's Thursday, June 10th, 2021. And here are some of today's trends in the news. Well, it's the Thursday that the markets are waiting for. The government's going to come out with the fake inflation numbers. Again, the numbers are rigged. Things like housing, it went up 17% year to date. That's not included, plus other stuff. The whole thing's rigged. But even with the rig, U.S., the S&P 500 yesterday hit a new high, or today, excuse me, despite hotter than expected inflation data. Hotter than expected? Hotter than expected by who? Not us. What's the cover of your Trends Journal? Yeah, inflation. But hey, it's hotter than expected, so how could we expect it? Because we forecast trends. Anyway, during the session, the Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 19 points. The S&P ended the day up a bit, and so blah, blah, blah. Labor Department reported Consumer Price Index on Thursday, showing inflation is rising at its fastest pace since 2008. 2008. The panic of '08. Capisce? Yeah. CPI represents a basket including food, energy, groceries, and prices across a spectrum of goods and jumped 5% in May from a year earlier. Markets shrugged off the news, however. And they're saying this is only a transitory and temporary. Household furnishings, airline fares, and apparel cost furnishings logged in their largest monthly increase since 1996. China's manufacturing prices skyrocket. Oh, it's transitory. What's the cover of your magazine this week? Inflation. This is a big story here in the Wall Street Journal, in today's. China's producer price index jumped 9% from a year ago in May, accelerating from 6.8% increase. And it marks the fastest year-to-year rise, since 2008. 2008, when the phony markets were rigged up with subprime mortgages and lousy, low-life bankster gamblers, giving people loans that didn't have jobs, that were in debt to buy houses, to buy cars, to buy anything. Oh, but they were too big to fail. And low-life pieces of scum like George W. Bush and the daddy's boy and Obama, the Nobel Peace of Crap Prize winner. Oh, those banksters that screwed everything up, they were too big to fail. Hey, and the Federal Reserve only pumped in $29 trillion with a T to bail them out. You see where this is going? The whole thing is a rigged game in front of everybody's eyes if you're not deaf, dumb, and blind. Now this goes on, and we'll put more details in the Trends Journal. Meanwhile, China's production capacity, which has surpassed pre-coronavirus levels, is becoming more strained. Commodity prices skyrocket, adding to inflation fears. Oh, no, what are you talking about, Celente? CNBC won't quote me. They used to, but I won't suck up and bow down to the prostitutes. So what do they quote? A significant degree of this inflation may prove transitory, as nearly half of the above-average spike of inflation comes from the base effects of last year's weakened economy, and even supply chain shortages should prove transitory as companies increase productivity and begin pent-up demand, said Jason Pride. Oh, how proud I am, Pride, CIO of Private Wealth at Glenn made private wealth. You know what this is?
That is bullshit.
You got it. Anyway, moving on. China's economy is on track to grow by 8.5% in 2021, according to the World Bank. Ooh. How long did we say this? When everybody was saying it was going to grow at 6%, we said 8%. Now they're at 8.5%. And again, China was the only, we've been writing about this. What's out one of our top trends for 2021? The 20th century was the American century. The business of America has been war. The business of China is business, and they are going to be the economy of 2021. Commodity crunch blamed on stingy capital spending, a very important story, very important information. Since 2011, investments to develop energy and mining sections have fallen 40%, according to asset manager Schroders, leaving many producers unprepared for the recent boom in manufacturing and spending. You got it? There's not enough capacity. And demand is going to increase as the COVID war winds down, which we said it before anyone. We were the first to call the COVID war a load of
bullshit.
And we were the first to say this thing's going to start winding down until next year. Autumn and winter and next year. Because then they're going to start the variants coming. Get more shots. Bend over, get more shots. Orders surge for container ships. Orders for new container ships in the first 5 months of this year would nearly double the orders for all of both 2019 and 2020, according to the London-based maritime data provider Vessels Value Limited. This is the globalnomic system of trend forecasting that we have, making connections between different fields. More container ships, why? Because demand is going up. Are these stupid people that they're going to build ships and, oh, we're not going to put anything in them and bring them anywhere? More demand, less supply, higher prices. More inflation. And why are they talking it down on Wall Street? Because the higher inflation goes, the higher interest rates go. And the higher interest rates go, the markets crash because they've been pumped up on monetary methadone, cheap money printed on nothing and backed by nothing. And all of these merger and acquisition activities, all of the money being pumped into there, borrowing it for nothing. What's going to happen to the real estate market, the residential? Do you think it's going to keep going up as mortgage rates go up? That's why they're lying about this and saying it's transitory. It's not, will it be going up at the same pace? No. But some sectors, yes. And overall, higher. Now, higher it goes, interest rates go up and the economy goes down. Campbell's plans to raise its prices. Oh, I wonder why. Campbell's soup company's pandemic boost came to an end as some customers are returning to restaurants and offices while higher costs cut into profits. They're raising the prices, and there's going to be shrinkflation. That means, oh, the can of Campbell crap is going to cost the same, but it's smaller. Shrinkflation and dragflation. Inflation is going to go up as the economy is dragged down. Let's go over this briefly. Richest in U.S. pay all but nil in income tax. Right here from the toilet paper record, the New York Times. Nil, nothing, zero, nada. As I keep saying, and a great comedian, George Carlin, said it years ago, it's one big club and you ain't in it. The rich have gotten, the billionaires have gotten $8 trillion richer when the COVID war broke out. The World Bank and other organizations are showing poverty levels have increased. 150 million people have gone into deep poverty as they pay nothing and they control everything. The 25 richest Americans, including Jeff Bezos, Michael R. Bloomberg, how about F. Bloomberg? Paid relatively little and sometimes nothing in federal income taxes from 2014 to 2018, blah, 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 blah. Oh, Bloomberg. Oh, you think they'd bring me on Bloomberg? It's one big club and we're not in it, and they're shafting us day in and day out. Everything's going to the bigs. You're a non-essential piece of crap. Close down your business. Only the essentials are allowed to open. Walmart, Costco, Target. Screw you. And how does the Biden administration respond to this? And how does it get out of the news? And all those little prostitutes, these little boys with cojones smaller than a mothball, zip, quiet, nothing. Tax data disclosure triggers inquiry. Federal authorities. Authorities, that's a curse word. When I say, fuck you, I had enough of your shit, that's not a curse word. That's appropriate for when it happens. To call some scumbag, lowlife, piece of garbage, bureaucratic crap an authority, you could go fuck yourself. Hey, maybe that's what, what's his name, Fauci's doing with these masks, because he says you can't wear them because they're ineffective, but telling us we all have to wear them. But that's another story. Going back to this, federal authorities are investigating the release of wealthy Americans' tax information. Internal Revenue Service Commissioner Charles Reddick said, imagine this, I share the concerns of every American for the sensitive and private nature and confidential nature of the information the IRS receives, he said. You know what that is?
Bullshit.
Yeah. The IRS will fuck over any one of us like that for not paying a dime. And they take it up the ass from the Musks, from the Bezos, from the Buffetts. They control everything. Get it in your head. If we don't unite, we are finished. Can't you see where this is going? So, we're having a rally. No, we're having a festival. 4th of July festival, a 4th of July festival coming up. Go to OccupyPeace.com. It's going to be in Kingston, New York, again, at the 4 historic corners on Crown and John Street, starting at 2 p.m. Lynette Zhang is going to be here. Gary Null is going to be here. Patricia Finn is going to be here. And other big names and great, great music. Smokey Hormel and his Band of Renown, they're going to be back too. Different sound, different style. That's how they're screwing us. And you want to see more? Blackstone to acquire owner of data sites. Blackstone Group has struck a roughly $6.7 billion deal to buy QTS Realty Trust and take the data center operator private. Blackstone has been plowing money into fast-growing areas of the economy. Plowing money. $6.3 billion. And as Neil Pacifico wrote in the previous Trends Journal, the Biden tax plan is total bullshit. Again, the bigs are protected. They pay nothing. And what else do we have here? Facebook will, Facebook will let all employees who can work remotely to request to work from home full-time. Why am I mentioning that? Again, globalnomic. What's going to happen to commercial real estate? What have we been saying in the Trends Journal? What does this mean? And there are other sides to this that are positive for entrepreneurs to take advantage of. This is a whole new trend. The COVID war created it, as well as Interactive U, which I only wrote about 25 years ago in Trends 2000. Interactive University. This is when the internet was first invented. Not invented, but when it first became into the public. It really just started hitting in the early 90s. No one was talking about interactive education. Zoom. It's going to go beyond Zoom. It's going to go holographic. It's going to go virtual reality. It's going to go like you're there. And what are the implications? Far and wide. And speaking of far and wide, great news, everybody. New York legislator passes Truth in Vaccination bill protecting vax records from fraud. Isn't that great? Truth in vaccination. It's a crime to create a fraudulent COVID-19 vaccination. And then we're writing about how they're pushing in New York the Excelsior Pass big time. And it's going on everywhere. Again, read your Trends Journal. The vaccine passports, they're happening in Spain and France. They're going on and on, Turkey, Greece. And now it's a crime if you lie about being vaccinated. And Washington State's vaccine incentive, free marijuana. These are the little bastards and bitches in government that ruin the lives of tens of millions of people, probably hundreds of millions over the decades, for smoking a joint and getting high. But to promote the drug dealer's vaccination, hey, here's a joint. Go knock yourself out. How disgusting. And again, the only reason they legalized nature's cannabis, that they should have never, well, why should they make it free? Why should you be able to grow your own cannabis? Hey, we got the drug dealers, Big Pharma, Big Pharma. You can't compete with Big Pharma. And now the only reason why they're legalizing is you get tax revenue. Anyway, Germany makes rapid virus tests the key to everyday freedoms. Freedoms. And what have I done? I'm starting the church. The universal church of freedom, peace, and justice. This is not freedom. Take your test and shove it up your ass. The New Daily came out just out of Australia. This is before we got on the air. Australia is at risk of being left behind by the rest of the world as countries, including the 27-nation union, move quickly towards travel for vaccinated individuals. But Australia, on the other hand, Thursday announced its international travel ban would be extended for another 3 months until September. Why, I say 4 months until October. I'm a little piece of premier shit. No, I'm a prime minister piece of crap. I'll make up anything. Health minister, that's another cursed word. Health minister, go fuck yourself. Health minister. Oh, yes, minister. Oh, was the minister like a priest? Minister Greg Hunt. I take out that H and you could put another word. Well, I'll take it in another letter, but said the extension was on advice that the global pandemic continues to pose an unacceptable risk to public health. So read your Trends Journal this week. Trend Post, Australia. Since the COVID war began 17 months ago, of the 25 million people in Australia, just 910 have died of the virus, or just 0.00364% of the population. And no one has died of the virus over the past 6 months. And according to the Australian Department of Health, June 6th, the magazine went out on June 7th, or June 8th, excuse me. The median age of deaths, 86 years old. And I got Celente, watch your language. He's the health minister. You shouldn't call him an arrogant scumbag. You have to be more proper. How about an arrogant wanker? Wanker's more proper. This little piece of shit shooting off his fat mouth continues to pose an unacceptable risk to public health. 0.00364% is not unacceptable anything. And where are the prostitutes to call them out? No one. And that's why you subscribe to the Trends Journal. And that's why we need you to subscribe, because the more that have it, the more we can do. And we're doing everything we can, and there's no magazine like this. Nothing comes close to it. Who's calling them out like this? Where do you see the facts of everything that I'm talking about, from the economy to wars to what's going on? Nothing comes close to it. And then you got some shithead, Dean Long, the CEO of the Accommodation Association. Dean Long, Dean, you little dick, shooting his mouth off. Quote, "We have to get vaccination rates up because that's the only way we can get the border opened. And if we get people vaccinated quickly, we'll have a bonanza." Can you imagine the shit flowing out of these crapheads' mouths? And then you got that other big, fat, ignorant piece of garbage prime minister over there. Those are curse words. Prime Minister Scott Morrison, you fucking scumbag. Anyway, if we're still here in 12 months, when the rest of the world is fully vaccinated and traveling, and we're trying to compete with that, our recovery will take longer. Hey, fuckface. 17 months. 25 million people in your country, 910 dead. Nothing. No, 0.00364%. And the median age, dickhead, is 86 years old. Oh, Celente, after you get 86, you go, then you don't die. You don't die later on. No, you get a day camp. You go to day camp after you get to die. Anyway, vaccines for younger children advance. Great. They're not dying at 86 years old. What are you vaccinating younger kids for? Why? Hey, the drug lords are in charge. Bend over. Take it in the arm, take it up the ass. We're in charge. Young people don't even know they get this virus when they have it. The recovery rate from 1 to 20 years old is only 99.997%. Oh no, and they're not transferring it. Not according to the data. What else do we got here? Plexiglass is everywhere with no proof it's keeping COVID at bay. $750 million, these stupid pieces of glass, right? You got a piece of plexiglass. The wind doesn't go that way, doesn't go that way, stops right there. Stand in front of that plexiglass! Okay, yes. And let's see. Not a single study has shown that the clear plastic barriers actually stop the spread of the virus, said Joseph Allen of Harvard's Chan School of Public Health. Harvard. Oh, conspiracy theorist. And don't forget, when you masturbate, sanitize your hands. And don't forget to wipe down. Everybody wiping down this shit, right, with that stuff? Oh, the benzenas is great for you, too. Yeah, your bloodstream loves benzene because of that benzene boost. Chances of get it from contact is 1 in 10,000. Anyway. And we got a lot more here, but it's a long night. Biogen draws criticism for $50,000 cost of Alzheimer's treatment. $56,000. Shortly after the U.S. approval on Monday for the first new Alzheimer's medicine in almost 2 decades, the Massachusetts-based biotech group announced a price that is well above even the highest estimates. And a member of the U.S. Food and Drug Administration Advisory Committee said yesterday he resigned over the agency's approval of the new Alzheimer drug. Mayo Clinic neurologist Dr. David Notman told CNN Wednesday he resigned from the committee in protest. Quote, I resigned from the PCNS committee because if I ever were asked to serve on a future panel, I wouldn't have wanted to be treated in the disrespectful way that the name of the drug, aducanumab. They make up these fucking names. External advisors were treated. Well, I disagree with the decision to approve aducanumab. We in the clinical care and clinical research worlds will simply have to learn to adapt to the new circumstances. Yep. And according to the Alzheimer's Association, 6 million Americans have Alzheimer's-related dementia, and they're all in Congress. More than 2/3 of Congress cashed a pharma campaign check, according to stat analysis. 72 senators and 302 members of Congress cashed a check from the pharmaceutical industry ahead of the 2020 elections. Pfizer's Political Action Committee alone contributed to 228 lawmakers. That's another curse word. Don't call these scumbags lawmakers. They're little motherfuckers, and to be proper, fatherfuckers. Lawmakers. Paid off. All right? That's our system in front of your eyes. Drug dealers paying them off. Pfizer gave Biden $1 million to celebrate his inauguration. How stupid can you be? Get that shot. Hey, your lawmakers making the law like the scum up in New York State just did. You got to have your vaccine passport. If you lie, it's a crime. We got a lot more here. A lot more. It'll be in your Trends Journal. Thank you for tuning in. This is Gerald Celente. That's some of today's trends in the news. And remember, a rally, a festival on 4th of July, starting at 2 p.m. And go to our site, occupypeace.com, and donate something. Put some money where your heart is. I'm fighting, and there's others that are joining the fight. We couldn't make this happen if others didn't join, and we are. And we're moving forward. There's been a lot of generous money coming in. And the more you think I'm getting any money from Pfizer like the scum that your politicians are? They're the ones that are ruining our lives, and I'm fighting for freedom, peace, and justice. And I need you to join the fight. And subscribe to the Trends Journal, trendsjournal.com. Thanks for tuning in. Ciao, ciao, and arrivederci. The COVID-19 war has changed the world, but who's prepared? What's next? It's in your Trends Journal. Trends Journal subscribers are prepared. Subscribe to the Trends Journal. Read history before it happens. From the world leader in trend forecasting.